Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I just got back from vacation in Gaspésie, Quebec, and I thought it would be interesting to show you what gear that I brought with me on this trip, and also a few lessons I learned along the way. So let's get into it. Let's start with backpacks. I have two of them, and both serve a different kind of purpose. So the first bag I got on my list is the Shimoda Action X30. This is a really good bag, I think. I've had it for some years now. I especially love the roll top where you can fit extra things like clothing or snacks while you're on the hike. It's also really comfortable to wear thanks to the straps, and the waist belt. But I gotta be honest, I didn't use this bag so much when I was on my trip because it stayed at the house most of the time, and the reason is this backpack right here. This is so small, it's the Brevity jumper bag, I think it's called. So each day I would transfer the gear that I have in my Shimoda, like my cameras and my lenses, to this little bag right here to use as a everyday backpack. It's small, it's lightweight, it doesn't look like a camera bag, and it fits a lot more things than you might think. While I love the Shimoda bag, it's big and it's heavy and it has a lot of straps, and it's not ideal for walking around town. So when we went on casual walks or to restaurants, well, this is the bag that I brought with me. All right, let's talk about cameras. This year I upgraded from the original R6 to the R6 Mark II. This is the camera that I'm using to film this right now. The main reason I chose to upgrade was for the video features. First, it doesn't overheat in 4K 20p anymore. Also, it no longer has a crop in 4K 60p. It now has a dedicated photo and video switch, so it's really easy now to switch between photo and video. And you can now customize video modes to different dials like the C1, C2, C3. That's really helpful because sometimes I want to switch my frame rates from 4K 24p to 4K 60p for slow motion, and it's really easier to switch between these modes now. In short, I love this camera. The autofocus is so reliable. I can't remember a time when I missed focus with it. It's just that reliable. As for photography, although it's only 24 megapixel, I think it strikes the right balance between, posting on social media because you have smaller file size while keeping like the quality of the image really perfect, like they're really crisp and sharp. Overall, this is a fantastic hybrid camera, and I'm not ready to switch anytime soon. Okay, let's talk about lenses. My main go-to lens for that trip was the RF 24-105 f4L lens. This is the lens that I'm using to record this right now. This is the perfect lens for traveling because it's so lightweight for a L series lens. 24mm is really versatile. I can get landscape shots, I can get building shots, or lifestyle. I can zoom all the way to 105mm, which gives me a really nice compression and telephoto capabilities, and also is perfect for portrait shots in my opinion. Also, on some rare occasion, I will use it to capture wildlife if the animal is close enough. Although it's not the perfect wildlife lens. You might want something like 100 to 400 or a 200 to 800. Plus, this lens is really sharp edge to edge, and it's the perfect walk-around lens for travel without having to switch lenses all the time. So the other RF lens that I brought is this one, is the 16mm f2.8, and this one wasn't used at all on my trip. I thought I would use it, but turns out 24mm is wide enough for the shots I wanted to do. So it stayed in my bag for most of the trip. I also brought two prime lenses. The first one is the Canon EF 24mm f1.4. This lens right here. I bought this lens earlier this year thinking I might like 24mm more than I thought I would. And don't get me wrong, I love this lens. It's really nice to have a shallow depth of field on such a wide angle lens. However, I originally bought it for environmental portraits, and although I like the look it gives, the image is like a little bit too distorted for me. Also, I bought this lens for astrophotography, but I wanted to use it at f1.4 so I don't have to crank up the ISO so much to get a clean image. But turns out you have a lot of astigmatism in the corners of this lens, so it's pretty much unusable for astrophotography. So I think I might sell this lens actually. I don't know, we'll see. So the other most used lens that I used on this trip was the EF 50mm f1.2. And this one has a really special character to it. At f1.2, it has a lot of softness, chromatic aberration, and sun flares. While some might say at f1.2 that this lens is unusable, I say that sometimes it's nice to have special character on a lens, you know. But I can also get to f2 to get a cleaner image. I love this lens, but I'm torn. Sometimes I love the character it gives at f1.2. It almost feels like you have a mist filter on it. But at the same time, at f1.2, sometimes I want like a cleaner image. But do I regret bringing this lens? No, hell no. It's my primary portrait lens, and I took some beautiful videos and photos with it. For a tripod, I have the Peak Design travel tripod. This is the aluminum version. I'm not a big fan of bringing tripods on travel because they're bulky and heavy, but this one is nice because it's not so heavy. It fits perfectly on the side of my camera bags, either the Shimoda or the Brevity. So yeah, I use it all the time to take pictures of my family, to take astrophotography. So tripods is really necessary for me when I travel. For stabilization, I brought the DJI RS3. Okay, this one should have stayed back home because I didn't use it in a single shot on this trip. But don't get me wrong, this is really nice to get smooth cinematic shots. And I'm always debating with myself if I should bring a gimbal on my travels, on my trip or not. Last year, I took it to Vancouver Island and I captured some incredible stable footage that, in my opinion, really enhanced the quality of my videos to like a professional level. But it's not all fun, you know. Having a gimbal with me on my travel really weighs me down, and it takes a lot of space in my bag. And for someone like me who likes to, you know, run and gun, having to sit down and balance the gimbal every time is not really exciting. Another DJI product that I brought with me is the DJI Mini 2 with this little drone right here. It's really nice to have for travel, especially when you want to show the landscape like it never was discovered before. And this little drone never let me down. I still feel like it does deliver a beautiful image, a beautiful 4K image. And it's, you know, it's small, it's compact, it fits in my hand, just like that. It fits in my bags really nicely and doesn't take a lot of space. I want to maybe get the Mini 4 Pro or whatever DJI product is gonna come out like this year, maybe the Mini 5 Pro, I don't know. But, you know, for now, I don't need so much to upgrade because the footage that I take with it is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Oh, and I almost crashed this drone on this trip. I don't know how it survived. I'm pretty lucky, but I don't know, it crashed into a tree. It got back up by itself, and yeah, I'm pretty lucky, I think. Next up, we have the Freewell 2 to 5 stop ND filter. This stays in my camera bag no matter what. No matter what I do. For video, using an ND filter is really crucial if you want to follow the 180-degree shutter rule. That means that in bright conditions, you need to use an ND filter if you want to have a low aperture to create shallow depth of field and keep the natural motion blur with your shutter speed. But I have a little secret. I didn't use that ND filter at all on this trip. Since I was creating a video for myself, I didn't feel like I needed to respect the 180-degree shutter rule. So I just cranked my shutter speed and it did the job. Let's talk about audio now. The mic that I brought with me is this little Godox mic. I didn't use it that much because most of the time I just slap music on top of my video. But on some cases, I want to record like the natural environment, like the sound of the environment. So this is why I bring this little microphone. It's nice, it's pretty small. It doesn't have even a battery. It plugs into my camera and that's it. It fits nicely in my bag. It's lightweight. So yeah, just bring it just in case I need. And by the way, I won't use this microphone for professional use because, you know, the sound quality is not so nice. I have other microphones for this type of use. But for travel content, it's better to use this little microphone than just using the sound from the camera. And that's what's in my bag. But of course, I brought some other things like cables and batteries, but I don't want to bore you with that stuff. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful in knowing what's in my camera bag for this trip. And I think I'm happy with how lightweight and mobile I am, while still keeping the best quality as possible. If you have any questions or suggestions, just leave a comment below. I'll try to answer them. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy travels!